Hi there, my name is Bobby. You can most often find me as one of the moderators on lucidowners.com, the best Lucid forum out there. Or you can visit my own site, lucidupdates.com, for lots of information about the car, particularly its software. Today we're going to discuss the software wishlist. This is a survey that we've been running online for Lucid Air owners, or even potential owners, where they can wish for certain software features in future updates. Now, what they did was we had a long list of potential features, over 40, and each survey taker could assign points, what we called wish list bucks, to the items they wanted most. A total of 100 wish list bucks is available. Once you've used your 100, you're out. So you could put all 100 on your favorite item or spread them out, however you wanted. We also made sure that there were no duplicate submissions to try to keep things honest and true. Today, as of today, which is February 8th, 2024, we've had 432 submissions, which is a pretty good sample size. So let's get to it. I'm going to cover the top 10. Number 1 with the most points is dash cam mode. Dash cam mode means that the cameras in the car are on during driving and recording. This could be used for track days if you want to watch your performance, or more commonly for if an accident occurs, that we can utilize that footage as proof of fault. Dash cam mode. There are a lot of cars out there that are getting this, and I think this would be a great idea for Lucid to try to implement. Number 1. And by the way, as I talk about these, some things are easier to implement and harder. Now, I'm saying that from a layperson's perspective. Okay, when you make software, if you make it on a phone or a tablet or a computer, the worst thing can happen if your software doesn't work is the computer will crash and then you'll restart it. In a car, the worst thing that happens is the car will crash and you could die, or others could. So, software in a car requires significant more regulation, testing, and careful improvements. So I want to relay to the people, if you happen to be a Lucid software person watching this, I'm not simplifying or oversimplifying this at all. I understand that none of this is easy, but still, these are the wishes of your owners, and I hope we can implement some of these. Now, back to our list. Number 2 on our list is Sentry Mode. Now, you might think, well, wait a minute, isn't that the same as dash cam mode? No. Sentry Mode is when the car is off, and usually you're away from the car. The cameras are on and can watch the car. If somebody vandalizes it or hits it, we can see that footage. Maybe that footage will be saved on a thumb drive we might plug into the USB port of the car, for example, maybe in the cloud. Now, I know that one of the cons of this Sentry Mode is battery usage. You see, when the car is on, all the systems are on anyway, so recording the dash cam would not utilize a heck of a lot more energy. Well, when the car is off, we'd essentially have to have the car on for the cameras to be active. We're not driving around, but the car is on and utilizing battery. This will use up battery. So I still think it could be implemented, but Lucid would have to pop up the appropriate warnings that say, hey, this uses up X% of your battery per hour, and set a minimum battery level to which we're willing to go before the dash cam mode, Sentry Mode turns off. I think that's reasonable. Of course, people will complain it used too much of my battery because some people are just never satisfied, but we need to know that if this item is implemented, it will use at least some of your battery. Number 3 on the list, Dream Drive Pro additional feature. What is this? Well, as you know, some cars are equipped with Dream Drive Pro. This is the highest level of the automatic driving, the automated driving. Now, Dream Drive Pro does not have a lot of the features that are found in other competing vehicles, particularly Teslas, GM vehicles, Ford vehicles, and it would be nice if we could start to see some of these features. Automatic lane change, traffic jam assist, which means I'm in a traffic jam. I can have the car slow down to even a stop and then begin to go again. Maybe even off freeway driving. Now, I know that some of this concerns people. I'm afraid of using autopilot type systems in my driving, particularly around town. Well, fantastic. Don't use it. We need to remember that Lucid has taken a conservative approach to software. Tesla who is a big competitor to Lucid, has not. So there have been some reported problems with the autopilot on Tesla, and I know Lucid doesn't want to go down that path. So I understand why the implementation has been slower. That said, I'd like to see it implemented soon. I'd also like to see the requisite dash display where we could see the other lanes of cars, maybe the lane to our right and the lane to our left, maybe other vehicles, people, bicycle, cones, whatever it's going to be. I'd like to see that displayed in the dashboard. There's plenty of room for it, and that would be really nice if we could see that. All right, so that's Dream Drive Pro advanced features. That will not affect, by the way, Dream Drive Premium owners, who really, that's just utilizing a lot of the cameras around the car for the 3D display, the blinker cameras, etc. All right, on to number 4, Android Auto. Now, this is a big one, and I say it's a big one on behalf of the Android people. I think it's quite a vocal minority. We did survey the ownership, and it's come to light only about 20% of the ownership are Android users. I've heard even less. But these guys really would like their Android Auto, and I don't blame them. I think that it's time, we have CarPlay, to bring out Android Auto and implement it in the car. I understand that Google can move the goalposts sometimes, and we can get close to implementation, and suddenly the requirements change. I get that. But still, I see it in a lot of other cars at various price points, and I think it would be great if Lucid could implement that in the Air. Okay, moving on. Number 5, user control over the glass cockpit and pilot panel displays. Wait a minute, what is that? All right, so the top display up top is called the glass cockpit. On the left are lights and wipers, etc. In the middle are displays about your actual driving, your speed, your regen, the HA. There's a little widget, etc. I'm talking about the right part of that glass cockpit, the touch part. Currently, it only can display what is also shown on the lower screen when using navigation or music. We can move the navigation or music to the upper screen only, but then the only thing we could see on the bottom are the settings, the openings, etc. It would be nice, and it is requested by users, that we can determine what's on each screen. For example, I might want to use navigation on the top and audio down there. I might want to have phone on the bottom and audio on the top. I'd like to be able to just simply have the screens be independent of each other. It was pretty cool, the original software, where we could kind of pull down on the top and it would come to the bottom. That was a neat trick, but unfortunately it was incomplete because it didn't allow us to control each display individually. The displays don't touch each other, and so there's a little bit of space between them, so it would make sense if they could be seen as individual displays. That is user control. Okay, number 5. Replace the Here mapping system with Google Maps. This is a common request. Some people find that the Here mapping system, although gorgeous when shown on the pilot panel and the glass cockpit, sometimes leads us in a circuitous route, sometimes leads us to an incorrect destination, isn't quite as complete and useful as Google Maps. Now, we have Apple Maps, that's in CarPlay, but Google Maps can't use it unless we're in CarPlay. And many Android Auto users, or people that just don't enjoy using CarPlay and want to use the native UI, are hoping for Google Maps instead. Now, I don't know what that takes. I don't know if Lucid has a contract, for example, with Here for a certain amount of time or a certain amount of cars. I don't know. That one may be possible or impossible. Lucid, if it's impossible due to restrictions of some type or another, please let us know. And then we'll say, okay, good. We now know why we're not going to see that one. Until then, it remains high on the wish list. All right, we are now moving on to number 7. Option to view actual miles remaining based on real-world history instead of theoretical EPA miles remaining. For me, this would be number 1, but I only get 100 votes too. Okay, I get the same amount of votes as anybody. This would be number 1. What is it? On the bottom of the center part of the glass cockpit is displayed our range. It can be displayed in miles remaining or percent remaining. Okay, so far so good. The miles remaining is always based on the EPA of the car. For example, my car is 20,000 miles and getting close to about a year and a half old. And it still displays, if I charge to 100, the EPA max of 469 miles. Now, I know I've been subject to at least some battery degradation, and I know I'm just not going to achieve that. Why? Well, if you watch my other video about EPA, The reason I'm not going to achieve that has nothing to do with the car. The Lucid Air is absolutely capable of achieving EPA. It did during EPA testing, and I did during my testing in another video called Is EPA a Lie?, which you'll find on my channel. Here's the thing. Our driving is the thing that affects EPA. What we do when we're driving. How fast are we going? How quickly do we accelerate? What accessories do we use? And generally speaking, although not always, our driving will be similar on one trip. I would like to see the display show the actual miles remaining based on my driving for the last, 10 or 15 miles. If I'm just starting out, I've only gone 2 miles, it could use the last 10 or 15 miles from the prior journey. This could be adjustable, I guess. I'd love if it would take into account other factors like elevation changes, headwinds, exterior temperature. That would be even better. But let's start with just taking into account what we're seeing. The thing is, my efficiency, while I'm driving 10 or 15 miles, does take into account the weather. Unless we have a severe change in weather in the last 10 or 15 miles, which is possible but infrequent. So I hate to beat this drum a lot, but we need to change that. The miles remaining is a lie. The miles remaining in my car is wrong based on my driving. So how do we do it? Well, the car just needs to do some math. The average efficiency over the past 15, I'm making up a number there, but over the past 15 miles times the percent remaining in the battery. And I'd love it would take into account degradation, which the car does know, by the way. It knows my maximum battery capacity at this time. For example, mine is degraded from, I think, 112 to 106 or so over 20,000 miles. And that's normal for any EV. Please, Lucid, I'm begging you, let's do this. Now, the percent remaining, I'm assuming, is accurate. In order for me to figure out my miles remaining, I take my percent remaining, I multiply by the battery size and the efficiency, and I come up with, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to do math while I'm driving along. That doesn't make sense. So please implement this. If you would like my help on this, fine. Now, we also, if we're going to do this, I'd suggest we put in something in the car that talks to or addresses why am I not getting EPA? Because we're going to get new owners that go, well, you said it was going to be X miles and I only get Y miles. There's a screen in my other EV, which happens to be the Jaguar I-Pace, that literally says what has impacted your mileage and why is it not maximum efficiency. Great. Have a screen that says that. I really, really would like you to please, I'm begging you, put this in. We can make it a choice that users can reset to EPA if they want, or display EPA if they want to see something completely wrong, but they enjoy it. All right, enough on that one. That was a lot, but I'm really adamant about this one. All right, moving on. Number 8, optimize Homelink interface. Now, the Homelink interface worked great. I have never had a problem programming a garage door opener or using the Homelink. It's fantastic. I actually really love the instructions that appear on the pilot panel of how to do it. It takes the mystery out of it. Most cars I've had to look in the owner's manual and it doesn't work. This is great. But, here comes the but. When I'm in reverse, that menu that would pop down to indicate the buttons of Homelink doesn't. And I understand the reason. I understand why it's done this way, because it can't cover that reversing camera. I get it. We can't cover that up. Probably there's some legality to it that we can't blank out a portion of that camera legally. Fine. Let's figure something else out. Perhaps use that left panel where the headlights and other controls are momentarily just while in reverse. Or use the blank area somewhere else at the very top of the camera. The area the clock is normally shown on the home screen. Just reserve that tiny, half inch of area for 3 little buttons that are numbered 1, 2, 3. I love the interface where I can name my doors, but maybe that would be a way to do it. Or put it on the pilot panel. Now, I know the 360 appears there, but I don't have to not cover that. Give me something else. Right now, in order for me to close my garage, I have to back out, put the car in park, invoke the menu, which is usually 1, but sometimes 2 clicks, click the item, there's a 3rd click, and put the car back in reverse. Or use a workaround like having the garage door, the old-fashioned plastic garage door opener, or using Siri to do it. Okay, none of those is desirable. Please, let's get this fixed. Alrighty, getting on to the next one. This is number 9. CarPlay 2 when available. Now, CarPlay 2 is coming, and I have no idea if you at Lucid are planning on instituting or implementing CarPlay 2. Here's the thing. To me, A, it's a great way to advertise to your potential owners, and B, it's cool. Now, there are people out there watching this who will say, I don't use it, I'm never going to use it. That's fine. It would be an option, but make it an option. Other car companies, such as Porsche, have announced that they'll be using CarPlay 2, and they got some good media out of that, some good marketing, and it's cool. Personally, for me, that will affect my buying decision on something like future cars. Okay, it will. So from this point forward, once CarPlay 2 is released, assuming it's as cool as I imagine it's going to be, that will be a requirement for my future purchases. And I know lots of your owners and lots of people out there feel that way. Please, let's announce it and put it in. Okay, and the last one, number 10, automatic Homelink activation when leaving the geofenced area. What do I mean by that? Well, we talked a bit about Homelink, about the buttons to press. We could just have it automated as an option that I can automatically open or close my garage door when I get to the location. In other words, when that menu would have popped up, don't pop the menu, just activate it. If I have multiple garages, that would be in the settings. Which one do I want to open? If I have a gate and a garage, it could do both. And by the same token, when I'm leaving the area and it detects that I'm no longer in the geofenced location, it would close that garage. Fantastic. Other cars do it. I know Tesla does. I think that would be a really nice way to improve the Homelink functionality. So that's the top 10. If you'd like to see the entire list and how it's organized, please visit lucidupdates.com. And on there, under the Wishlist results or survey results, you'll see it. If you have not participated in the Wishlist, it's still ongoing, and you're welcome to fill out the survey. Lucid, here's my message. The Lucid Air, I love. I think it's a great car. I'm really satisfied with my purchase. I've really been thrilled with the folks I've met at Lucid. Really, it's been a great experience for me. Here's the thing. Software matters. Some buyers are looking for software. Some people, it's all they care about. They really don't even care about how the car drives, which is ridiculous to me, but understandable for others. They want to drive a car that has a lot of cool features. And right now we're playing catch up. I don't think Lucid needs to equal other cars in software. I think Lucid needs to exceed them. This is how we'll define this car going forward. I was privileged to take a look at the Gravity's initial kind of mock-up of what the software will be like, and I was extremely impressed. Amazing. Let's get some features to the Air. Let's not just match other manufacturers. Let's beat them. We did in the hardware department. We can do it in the software department. Anyway, if you have any comments about this video, please leave them below. I also encourage you to press that little like button. It helps spread the video so other people can enjoy it. And press that subscribe button because the videos will keep on coming. It was nice chatting today. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.